Welcome back, everyone. Taking care of your feet in the Utah winter can be challenging with the damp conditions. Joining us now in this sponsored interview is Dr. Kate Decker from Summit Foot and Ankle. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's good to see you again.
Okay, we are also talking about how to protect our feet because issues can happen, especially with our elderly.
Correct. Yes. I mean, I think when you're looking for a boot or a shoe gear in the winter, the important thing is, one, you need to keep your feet dry, and then two, you don't want to fall on ice. So, hopefully we will be getting more snow, so we can use things like this. But, I mean, you've got your big boots like this. You want to make sure that they are waterproof on that. You're looking for things even in the tongue where snow cannot get in and get your feet wet. And then, the traction on the bottom is really important too. Sometimes those certain boots will just be almost completely smooth on the bottom, and you really need good traction.
And what conditions are we talking about when it comes to if we're not taking care of our feet and keeping them dry?
Yeah, so I mean, we really do worry about our elderly. We worry about people who have things like diabetes or circulatory problems. If you're not keeping your feet wet and you don't have great blood flow to your feet, or let's say you're diabetic and have some neuropathy, you may not feel what's going on in your shoes. You may not feel the dampness. You may not feel the cold. So those people really particularly need to be protected and coming in for routine checkups.
So fungal issues can happen.
That can too.
And you have to be really careful. You mentioned something that I don't do even with my kids is take out maybe the sole when it gets soaking wet.
Correct, yes, taking out the liner in here. I'm just shocked sometimes how wet my kids' ski boots, but I'm like, what were you doing? You're just on top of the snow. But yes, I mean, between the sweat that can happen too, I mean, we're talking about staying the cold, but at the same time, if you've got a good boot, you might start to sweat inside it. And so just taking that liner out, letting things dry. I mean, you can even buy, for under $100, you can buy little boot things that you stick your boot on and let that dry out too. So those are important things to make sure you're doing too. And spraying them out as well. You can find, just like anything that's an antifungal type thing to spray those out as well.
Those are good tools to use. Also, on the outside of the shoe to give you some traction, that's really important for preventing falls.
Correct. I mean, snow starts to get packed down. You think, oh, wait, I'm going to fall into this snow. It's going to go halfway up to my knee. Well, I mean, once you get out on some of those trails, it can be really packed down, and that can get icy and slick too. And so they make things like these yak tracks like this. You can find those at any, sports store in the area. And those can go on the bottom of, and this shoe has good traction, but this is going to grip into that snow even better. So taking the dog out at the dog park or going on some of the different trails around here, those can be really helpful, just small little additions to your shoe that'll keep you from falling as well.
And doctor, would you suggest just keeping it on your shoe, especially the elderly too, to not have to put it on and off?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're going right into the snow, that is fine. I would say though, if you're going across like a parking lot or something like that to get to where you're going, you would want to sit down and put those back on when you get there. So.
What about balance too?
Yes.
That is really important to prevent falls. That is the number one killer among elderly adults.
Correct. Yes. I mean, that's the big fear is someone falls and breaks a hip, and that's really can be a bad thing for that person. So, this is good things all the time, but particularly when you're trying to keep balance across different types of surfaces as you're walking into a store or just anything like that. You can just work on some basic balances. I mean, you stand up here, and you want to first make sure you have something close by, the edge of a chair, the back of a couch, the counter, and you can just start with some basic stuff where you keep your foot up like this, count to 30. If you feel confident with that, go ahead and close your eyes, do the same thing. And if you do have an elderly or you have someone in the that you know well that has a little bit of trouble with balance, a lot of the physical therapy departments do balance training, and it can be really helpful, in general, but also for times like this.
I think that can be important. You don't necessarily have to go to a physical therapist too. You can help grandma, grandpa with these balancing. Close your eyes. I've got a hand on you.
Correct.
Those are easy things to do throughout the day.
Yes. You just do them a few times. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and that can make a big difference on maintaining that balance. And then if you were to slip, you can kind of right yourself a little more quickly.
All right, doctor, if there is any issue with your feet, can they come in for a consult?
They can, yes. We have multiple locations across the valley and across all of Utah. We have one number, and you can call that number that you'll see on the screen right there. That will get any of our locations. We're all the way down into St. George. We're in Vernal. So give us a call if you need anything thing for your foot or ankle.
SummitFootAnkle.com. There
Yes.
is a location near you, multiple places throughout Utah.
Yes.
Keeping our feet dry this winter and healthy. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you.
And thank you to Summit Foot Ankle for this sponsored interview.